YouTube, what's going on? She got Professor Real Good, and we're talking about the Relevance Part 2. 1 second. Favorite customer right here. Okay, these been selling a lot right here.
What is this?
I call these the special oils right here.
Okay.
Over here.
And here?
Come from overseas, very rich, concentrated. Like those last 5 months.
Oh, I want the Egyptian musk.
That's Egyptian musk number 4. It's gonna be hard to find that.
I want this.
That's 5 right there.
Okay.
The other ones are 7, but that's 5.
Okay.
Peppermint pheromones, that's a real good seller right there.
This one?
Yeah.
Let me see.
And when they get in your skin, I had put that on last week. And it stayed on me all day.
Okay, so I'll take these two.
All right, $12. You're gonna get a different type of reaction from these right here. And I keep this on deck for you too.
What's that?
There we go. It's over there. The Dolce & Gabbana light blue.
Got to, because I love it.
The one from the company that I told you about. I keep that one for you. So just in case when you run out, I got it. Yep.
The lady gave me all the ones at the bounce house.
I know, it's all good.
There you go.
The lady gonna say to me one day, she said, Professor Smell Good, you got all these ones, you can make it rain?
Ooh. Tell the lady about her business.
Thank you. Appreciate the edge.
Thank you. She is the man.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. You know I had to get some before I left.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too. What's going on, man? All right. All right, so let's get back to the lesson. Okay. So now this is just part 2 is an explanation of part 1, okay? Now, listen to what he said. He said, do they really think that you really think that they would have need of you? So any of you guys that are trying to seek any type of success from any type of endeavor that you're doing, as soon as you first start, people are going to always tell you, man, do you really think you're going to make it to the league? You're going to make the NBA? Do you really think you're going to make the NFL? Do you really think that you're going to be a top-notch poet? Do you really think that you're going to get your book published? Do you really think that you're going to have a corporate oil business and people are going to buy your blends all over the world? They're going to buy your smell, your fragrances that you made yourself all over the world? Do you really think that's the case? I gotta know this one. Do you really think that's the case? You're going to get attention, the same type of attention that Egyptian must get, an Amber White thing that do you really think you're going to get the type of attention? That's when they say, that's exactly what they say when you first start your endeavor. Okay? How you doing this morning? That's exactly what they say when you first start your endeavor. Do you really think you're going to do that? Pay attention to those people, who those people are, and those people, you want to get these people, do it Abdullah bin Abbas do, and get these people out of your circle. How's it going this morning? All right, get these people out of your circle, because these people, the more you have them around, you're going to lose progression. Good morning. These people, they're going to make you take step backwards instead of take step forwards, okay? Instead of taking steps forward, they're going to make you take steps backwards. They're going to make you mentally stressed because you're looking this way, but the more you talk to them, they're telling you to take a step back. And so they're going against the grain of what you really want, and that causes stress upon you. And so when they cause stress upon you, guess what happens? You lose your zeal. You lose your zeal, and then you lose who you want to be altogether. What you got to do is distance yourself from these people. Hey, how you doing this morning? You doing great? You have a great day. That's it. That's it. Will Smith says something very interesting. Will Smith, he said, the people that surround you, are they fanning your fire, or are they trying to put your fire out? Okay? So think about it. That person that's around you, think about it. When you have a goal, you have a dream, you have an endeavor, anything that you want to be in life, who are the ones that's, how you doing this morning? Who are the people that fire that you have, okay, that zeal, that passion that you have, they blowing that fire so that fire can stay lit, okay? Those people they blowing that fire so it can stay lit. Good morning. Pay attention who those people are and keep those people around you. How does it look when they blowing on that fire? How does it look in real life? Hey, listen, man, Professor Smellgood, I just want to say, brother, you're doing a real good job, man. You know what? Keep doing what you're doing, man. How you doing this morning? You're doing a real good job, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're inspiring us. I don't see the likes of what you're doing. You know, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing a great job, man. Professor Smell-Good, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Big ups to you. And they constantly saying that with nothing in return. They constantly saying that with nothing in return. They showing up at places where you want to go and you want to take it to the next level. If they can't show up, they're texting their callers, hey, Professor Smell-Good, good luck to you. Okay, I heard you, boom, boom, boom. Good luck to you out there. Okay? And they wouldn't get the chance. They willing to support you to show that they're loyal, to show that they are really loyal. Okay? They not too quick to cut the rope. You got some people, they so quick to cut the rope. But when you're working for a white person, then guess what? You loyal, you stay there and you work there, and never ever do you ever ask about, okay, well, how did you start this business? You never ask a white person that. But when you're working for a black person, okay, when somebody is African American do something, I'm talking about this coming from your own people, then what do they say? They say, oh, well, if he can do it, I can do it too. So why did you have that same mentality when you was working for the white person? You working for this man for 15 years. You never even thought about that. All of a sudden, when somebody else that looked like you was doing something, oh, I can do the same thing too. Come on. Just pay attention to the way people think. Pay very close attention to the way people think. Oh, if he can do it, I can do it. You see what I'm saying? Indirectly, I was running smart. Indirectly, let me tell you exactly what that means indirectly. Indirectly, what that means is that they look at you as a black man, from a black man, or black woman, a black woman, as a form of weakness. Why? Because, okay, well, how he started his business, but you never said it to a white man. White man started his business. He's supposed to. He's supposed to start his business. Black man started business. How he do that? How he think of that? How he come up with that? But the white man, you never say that to him. You ever thought about that? You never say that to him, but all of a sudden, black man, how he do that? Oh, he must have some help. How he get that stock? Somebody must gave him a loan. That's the way we think. That's that jealousy talk, the envy. Then you want to start to compete. I'm giving y'all a detailed game here. A detailed game. All right, have a good one. Okay. Well, they want to try to compete. And if you notice, I'm going to tell you something. I'm about to give you guys 4 detailed games. Good morning. I'm giving you guys 4 detailed games. So when it happens, you know what I'm saying, and you're working for somebody, and all of a sudden you hire the person, or you show the person the business. You show the person the business, right? All of a sudden, by you just genuinely trying to show the person, good morning, sir. You're trying to show the person the business, all of a sudden they want to compete with you. But if a white man was showing them the ropes of how to be good at a certain thing, that an endeavor that you're working upon, you take it as good advice. But when a black man, you want to compete with him. You always want to outdo him. You always want to outshine him. This man been doing what he been doing for 12 years. You just started. You want to outdo him? Improper approach. Because the one that you're trying to compete with, he's not even worried about you. He's not even worried about you. While you watching his every move to try to keep up with him, and every time you keep up with him, you know what? You step on a thorn. You step on a nail, a thumbtack that is called being envious. You step on two types of thumbtacks. You step on 2 types of nails, 2 types of thumbtacks, called envy and jealousy. Because you can't keep up, right? And you want to keep up, and you want what you have, and you can't. You become envious because of it, and you treat him some type of way. I'm about to go all in on this one, man. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you the reason why my life is so relevant to Abdullah bin Abbas. Because, as I said, he was young, studious, very knowledgeable. At a very young age, his knowledge was beyond his years. All my life, I've had a zeal, I have a passion. When I want to do something, I do it. I don't wait until 2 months. Very next day, early in the morning, I'm on it. I've been like that ever since I was 10 years old. I've been like that. And now I'm just seeing now at the age of 30, well, not within the past 7, 8 years, I'm seeing that the reason why people treated me like that from the past was because they saw that I was good at something. I was passionate, and they wanted that. Now I've been wondering, always just like, man, why they treat me like this? You know, I ain't did nothing to this guy. I haven't did nothing to this brother. Why you treat me like that? Envious. Being envious, right? I didn't even know the signs back then. But I've been through all of this stuff that I've been through. I have seen jealousy and envy so much, man. I can see the signs like I would see my own child walking up the street. I can spot it a mile away. I can spot it easily. When I mean very easily, I'm talking about very, very easily. Very easily. You see what I'm saying? And so all my life, it's been just like that. All my life, it's been just like that. Oh, it's good. So all my life, it's been just like that. Where playing basketball, I was good. I got people envious of me. Oh, you play basketball. You dribble too much. You practice too much. Same envious talk. You know what I'm saying? 6 years ago, that's when I really realized what was going on. That, you know what? I'm gifted. I'm not doing it to praise myself. But I said, that I realized that I was so gifted at so many things that people just couldn't stand to see that. Right? And so I found out that's the reason why they treat me that's the reason why they treated me the way that they did. Excuse me. I had a person come up to me. A couple people come up to me. This is one of the things that made me start to pay attention to what was going on. One day, this was like 8 years ago. I would go. 8 years ago, a lady comes up to me. And a lady was fierce at me for no reason. All I was doing was educating people. But when I educate, I bring a certain energy. I bring a certain energy when I teach and when I educate people. And I don't just stay in one spot. I like to move around. Speaking of the action, I had a dream last night. I was educating the people and I was moving around talking. People was like, wow, man, like this guy here. And I'm not, how you doing this one? I'm not trying to praise myself, but I'm just letting you know reality. Because if you seek any type of endeavor, you're trying to be successful, you're going to see the same exact thing. So now it's a heads up for you. So anyway, back to this, like, good morning. So the lady said to me, she was fierce at me. I have never, ever seen this lady like this in my life. Never did anything wrong to her. Never did anything wrong to her at all. Okay? Treated me like I was her worst enemy. She was very envious of me. And this is what she said out of her own mouth. Okay? She didn't know how much information she was giving me at the time. She didn't let me know that what she was about to tell me was explaining how she treated me before. She said, listen, Issa, brother Issa, I want to tell you something. She said, you know what? I apologize how I treated you. She said, well, I'm going to tell you something. You are so gifted that you will make somebody envious of you. She said, you are so gifted that you would make somebody jealous and envious of you. And this lady was in her 60s. She was in her 60s and she told me this. She said, brother Issa, you are so gifted and envious that you would make somebody envious of you. You would make somebody, when I heard that, my whole format started to change the way I think. And I said, wow, man, so now I see why. And then, after that happened, I just started to see signs after signs. So now it gave me a mental relief because now I see why they treated me the way they treated me. I had one brother come up to me, and brother told me, he said, Brother Ayub, man, shout out to Brother Ayub. Brother told me, he said, listen, Issa, he says, a lot of people, they envious of you, man. They jealous. The fact that, you know, what you're doing with the oils, pretty much nobody never did that before. Like how you sell it, nobody think about that. And, you know, a lot of people try to sell oils and it didn't work for them. But you were coming up with very interesting ways to sell it in which nobody never thought of. And so the brother told me, and I was like, wow, so he's getting inside information from people out there in the streets. He's talking specifically in the Muslim community, okay? So I said, wow. I mean, I'm not thinking about these people. Good morning, how are you? So he started telling us, I was like, wow. And I had somebody else tell me, I heard somebody else told me, one brother told me, I was explaining to a brother one day, and he was like, brother, that sounds like jealousy to me. He said, it sounds like envy to me. But anyhow, that explains my whole life. I've been going through this my whole life. So what Abdullah bin Abbas went through, that's pretty much how it's very relevant to what I went through my whole life. And still to this day now. Now, let's get back to the story, okay? Abdullah bin Abbas, he said, do you really think people would need you? Right? Really think people would need you? See, the thing is, when you say stuff like that, and you got big time celebrities, they don't see you actually getting on the level of them, or actually coming side by side them, or actually perhaps surpassing them, because they don't have your potential, they don't have your vision, they don't see what you see, right? Look at Allen Iverson, a really good example. When Allen Iverson, he was, I think, 12 years old, he said, I can take on Michael Jordan. He said that to the coach. The coach, very smart coach, very good coach, by the way. And the reason why I say that, because listen to what he said to him. He said, Iverson said this in a way in which will make everybody think that I can take Mike. Later on down the line, Allen Iverson got drafted to the 76ers, right? 76ers. He finally get the chance to play the person that he said, I can take on Mike. And when he finally got the chance, what happened? He made history. He crossed Mike. Gave Mike the Iverson crossover. Next day at school, everybody was talking about it. The best player to ever play the game of basketball, Iverson crossed him. But what? Iverson spoke it into existence first. It's power in words, man. That power in saying, I can do this, I can do that. Especially when you follow up on it. Especially when you got passion to follow up on it. It's power in those words. Okay? And look what, he finally got the chance. Now, Nino Brown says something very interesting. I'm going to tell you something. Well, actually, I'm going to go to the end of the story, and this is going to bring me to the point of Nino Brown. Okay, so now let's fast forward to the end of the story. In Damascus, when he finally got to Damascus, and his friend from before that he abandoned, he saw this large crowd in the mosque, and he was like, who is this? Who are they crowding around? He went and he looked over the people of the crowd, and he saw his old friend. And look at what he said right away. Because he hadn't talked to him in so many years. So he had time to contemplate upon it. He had time to marinate upon it. He said, you were smarter than me. When he looked over the crowd, he saw Abdullah bin Abbas. He said, you were smarter than me. Right? You were smarter than me. Sometimes you got to distance yourself away from people to give them time to marinate on how being envious is actually affecting them, because they can't see it. Being envious can be just like doing a drug. You can take good people that did drugs, and guess what? That same person that did drugs, they say, oh, this drug is doing me well. Why? Because the drug is taking over the mind and the heart, right? Once you take that drug away from them, what happens? They get to see clearly again. Same thing with being envious. When a person is envious, when a person is envious, they can be doing some of the most wrongful things. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Yeah. It's all right. I heard it before. Yeah. They can be doing some of the most wrongful things to some of the most good-hearted people. And they never see nothing wrong with it. Why? Because the jealousy, the envy has blinded them. That's why Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he said, one of the early scholars, he said, hasad, envious and jealousy blinds the heart. It prevents you from seeing obvious good in people. Obvious good. I already talked about before, a previous lesson about the brothers of Joseph, right? And now I'm going to tell you, now let's go back. Go forward. So he said, you are smarter than me. So a lot of times you have to give them space to heal from that, because it's a disease. Give them time to heal from that and contemplate upon it, and to see how good you were to them, for them to actually get a second chance after years and years and say, you are smarter than me. Sometimes it takes for you to just stay away from them and not see them again until you become successful. Or them see you, not you see them, but them see you until you become successful. He said you were smarter than me. Same thing that happened with Imam Bukhari. Imam Bukhari was one of the early scholars, very knowledgeable. he began to be so knowledgeable that he had crowds of people around him, kind of like Ibn Abbas, crowds of people around him. Now, before that happened, there were some scholars during his time that were bigger than him, but he became bigger than them. They were bigger than him before, but he became more astute, more knowledgeable than them. And so they came to him and they asked him a question about, is the Quran created? And we already know the Quran is a speech of Allah and it's not created. But they asked him this, they asked him, is the Quran created? And he said to them, he said, no, the Quran is not the creation, but my vocal of it is created. And so they was looking for something. The reason why they asked that is because they was looking for something. And they took his statement, right? And they took it out of context. And they went and they told all of his students to stay away from him. Don't sit with him because he has pretty much filtered thoughts. Okay? And so all of his students abandoned him because of this. And they took their books and they abandoned him. And so it was like this. So Imam Bukhari eventually passed away. When he passed away, the people that were jealous or envious of him, they came to his funeral. And when they came, the crowd around his funeral, there was a bright light that was shining from his from his grave. And when that happened, the people that was envious of them, they realized that they was actually jealous and envious of him, and they realized that they were wrong. You see how the distance? Let the person heal. You see, they realized at that point that they were actually wrong. Let me show you how important this lesson is because I'm letting customers go past. They realized that they were actually wrong. How are you?
Hey, all right.
Making this video right here.
Okay, then. Yeah. That's the doctor right there.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Doc? You been all right?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna let you go, bro.
My man, all right. So he said, and so they realized they was actually envious of him, all right? But how y'all doing this morning? They wait until he passed away, making a video. Yeah. Until he passed. Oh no! I don't do that right there. So that's when he realized that he was actually envious. They was envious, and so that's when they realized they was wrong. But when they realized that, he had to pass away. You see? Same thing with Prophet Joseph. Look, they was envious of their own brother, and look, they was harming. That's why when somebody is envious of you, they really want to harm you. And it's kind of like they're intoxicated. Don't listen to nobody and say, okay, if somebody envious, they're not going to harm you. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And it can be from some of the good-hearted people. Envious will take over a person just like drugs will. Trust me. That's why you got to separate yourself from people like that so you can be safe on your own. So you can make sure that you keep yourself safe. Look at what the brothers of Joseph did. And then after all of them years, after not seeing him, what happened? They prostrated to him out of sign of respect, right? But guess what? They realized that they was wrong, but it had to take years and years of not being around them for them to see it. But they saw it when he became successful and he became the leader. That's when they realized. So success will let the person, how you doing this morning? Success will let the person that you're envious of, let them know that you was right the whole time. You see how that works? All right. Now, let's get to Nino Brown's statement. Almost done. Nino Brown, if you don't know who Nino Brown is, motivational speaker, but he puts it in the way of in which people on the streets can understand it.